We've reviewed quite a few compact EDC flashlights lately, but sometimes you just need something bigger, brighter, and built for more serious use. And that's exactly where we found this Olight Seeker 4 Pro. On paper, it checks a lot of boxes: 4600 lumens, smart controls, a unique charging holster, and plenty of runtime. But specs only tell half the story. So today, we're going to see what it's actually like to live with, and whether it's a flashlight we genuinely want to keep using every day. Alright, so this is the Seeker 4 Pro, and the packaging feels pretty premium. Opening everything up, the first thing we get, of course, is the flashlight itself. It definitely has some weight to it. It feels solid and well put together instead of feeling bulky or oversized. On the front, that's 4 OSRAM P9 LEDs, and these are basically what help the Seeker 4 Pro push out that crazy 4,600 lumen maximum output. But even just looking at the setup, you can already tell this thing is designed more for wide area illumination rather than being a long-distance thrower. Inside the box, we also get the user manual. Then there's the charging holster, and this is actually one of the coolest things about the whole package. At first, it looks like a normal carrying holster, but it does way more than that. It supports USB-C charging, automatically locks and unlocks the flashlight, and even comes with a mounting bracket so you can keep it attached near a doorway, garage, or workshop. Honestly, that's something we don't usually see with most flashlights. Now, picking up the Seeker 4 Pro, one thing that stands out right away is just how comfortable it feels in the hand. It's about 5.2 inches long and weighs a little over 7 ounces with the battery installed, so yeah, it's definitely not the lightest flashlight out there. But weirdly enough, it never actually feels heavy. And we think a lot of that comes down to the design. The body has this rubberized wraparound grip that gives you a really secure hold, and the overall thickness feels just right. The build quality itself is exactly what you'd expect from a premium flashlight. Looking at the back, you've got the magnetic charging contacts integrated into the tail, keeping the overall design simple without adding extra ports or rubber covers that can wear out over time. Alright, so moving on to the features, and here, one thing we immediately liked is the hidden display. Olight calls it laser microperforation technology, and basically, when the light is off, you don't really notice anything. But the moment we turn it on, the display lights up and shows useful information without ruining the clean look of the body. I think that's a pretty cool touch, and it definitely makes the flashlight feel more premium. Now, the control system does take a little bit of time to learn, but once we got used to it, it actually became really intuitive. A single press turns the light on or off. Holding the button lets us cycle through the standard brightness levels, and if we keep holding from off, we can jump straight into moonlight mode, which gives us a super low 5 lumen output. Double pressing activates turbo mode instantly, while a triple press brings up strobe. There's also a timer function, which we can access by double pressing and holding the switch. But honestly, the coolest feature here is probably the rotating control ring around the button. Instead of being stuck with preset levels, we can simply rotate it and pick the exact brightness we want. So if we prefer something between medium and high, we can literally stop wherever we want and use that output level. Next, the charging holster is another thing that deserves some attention. First of all, it supports USB-C charging, which is super convenient. We can just plug a cable directly into the holster instead of connecting anything to the flashlight itself. We also get a mounting bracket for multi-scene installation, so we can place it near a garage door, a workshop, or even by the front entrance. Now let's talk about the part that everybody probably cares about the most, and that's the brightness. It uses 4 OSRAM P9 LEDs in a custom reflector setup, and because of that, we get a very wide, flood-style beam instead of a narrow spotlight. And honestly, we think that's the right choice for a flashlight like this. If Olight had gone with a single emitter and a deep reflector, this would probably be more of a thrower. But with this quad LED arrangement, we get a huge amount of usable light that spreads across a large area. At maximum output, we're getting 4,600 lumens, which is impressive for a flashlight that's still small enough to carry around comfortably. Looking at the different modes, we get 5 lumens in moonlight mode, 50 lumens on low, 300 lumens on medium, 1200 lumens on high, and then the full 4600 lumens in turbo. At 50 lumens, we can still see nearby objects clearly. Moving up to 300 lumens gives us much better visibility, while 1200 lumens lights up entire sections of the trail without any problem. Powering all of this is a 5,000 mAh 21700 battery, which honestly feels like a great fit for a flashlight with this kind of performance. Of course, battery life depends on how we're using it, but what impressed us is that the 1200 lumen high mode can run for over 2 hours, and honestly, that's probably the brightness level most people will end up using regularly anyway. The lower settings naturally give us even longer run times, so for everyday tasks, we don't think battery life is going to be a concern at all. Charging is also quite convenient. You can use Olight's magnetic charging system, but we personally prefer the USB-C charging built into the holster. So, after using the Seeker 4 Pro, we think Olight did a really good job balancing performance and everyday usability. The 4600 lumen output is impressive, but what we like even more is the wide flood beam and the comfortable grip. And we also prefer the steepless dimming system and the smart charging holster, because they add convenience instead of feeling like unnecessary features. Sure, it's not the smallest flashlight out there, and the controls take a little time to learn, but once you get used to them, everything feels pretty natural. Overall, we think the Seeker 4 Pro is an excellent option if you want a powerful, feature-packed flashlight that's genuinely enjoyable to use every day. Alright, that's our take on the Olight Seeker 4 Pro. Would you use something like this before? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And if you found this review helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.